Alright, so hopefully you took the time to look at that double slit experiment and you're kind of, privy to the idea in Genesis about mankind being given dominion over the earth. And now you're beginning to understand a little bit about the nature of the symbol for the Star of David. Actually has some very heavy-duty science behind it. And that really it's an equation itself, and that's what we're going to find out. The equation is really all about what it says it is: as above, so too below. So we need to look at it in perspective to what I got here in these titles, and it's something that you need to understand because the natural world will always give you the answers. It's designed that way. It's designed by the creator of all that is to show anyone the truth. And you're going to see the dynamics of the truth are absolutely reflective in the Creator's creation. So in this instance, we're going to have these two Trinity effects here. Now we know that the main supreme cell of identity is going to be the Father, what many of you would know of as the Holy Ghost, but I prefer to call the Infinite Spirit. So the Father, the Infinite Spirit, and the Son. That's of course the Trinity of perfection, where we have a triune of personality association of one identity. But because there are different levels of created dimensionality, we find out that the Supreme Being translates his identity into two separate spiritual personality forms. And this one would be the Infinite Spirit. Well, the Infinite Spirit is known to pervade all space. The Infinite Spirit, or the Holy Ghost, pervades all space, which meaning it is everywhere simultaneously at once. We know that the Father of all that is at paradise. He resides at the center of all things. And we might break that down a little bit further mathematically. So that the Father is at the center of all things. He doesn't leave the residence of paradise in this persona as the perfected Father. What he does is he translates his personality into another form known as the Infinite Spirit, which will now pervade all of created space. So he can be everywhere, ever present at once. The next thing that takes place is that now that the personality presence of the Infinite Spirit is pervading all space, we find out that now the approach is made to the beings of time and space, not just the material of time and space being pervaded by the Spirit identity. Now we see that the Father wishes to make contact in a personal form with the created beings of time and space. So therefore the equation for the creation of the personality identity of the Son in material form, which is really just a manifestation of the Father in his wisdom to lower his Infinite Spirit into the presence of a material form identity known as the Son, Jesus Christ, that material man himself could behold. Because material man himself cannot behold the Infinite Spirit or the Holy Ghost, nor can man behold the presence of the Father. It says no man might see the face of the Father and live. So we find out that the Father, through his wisdom, has equated his personality down into a form, into a material presence, into a tone that was perceivable by material man. And that's where we're going to see the equation of Jesus Christ is an inevitability in a material created universe. That when the Creator is of spirit and of spirit prerogative, the way to reach his material creation is to create a toned down version of his personality self that can be identified with a lower or lesser creation known as mankind. Thus, we have the equation of Jesus Christ being inevitable. That God eventually, when mankind was able to begin to perceive the higher spiritual realities, that the Father himself sends his portion of personality in the form of the eternal Son, in which on our world was called Jesus Christ, or he has been known to be called as Jesus Christ. But the correct way to fully and always identify him is the living Son of God who died on the cross and rose again. I'll be back.